Hi, my name is Lakshay. I'm a software engineer, a relatively recent Duke grad, and together with Damon Burrow and Zachary Holmes, who are both PhD candidates at Duke, we've been working on ScholarAI. We want to make science accessible for readers, publishers, and authors alike. As has been the case for many others, I have benefited immensely from GPT's technologies, especially as it relates to my learning. I found it incredibly easy to use to understand new topics or technologies or review old ones. But when it comes to engaging with more academic subjects or literature, it has its limitations. Let's try asking it about a subject I did research on in undergrad. As it's generating, a couple of key limitations become apparent. One, there's a cutoff date, especially when it comes to AI ML research. Things move fast, and I probably want to hear about recent developments. I don't want to be just limited to a certain training date that GPT has. Two, I'm only getting broad strokes. I'm not hearing about specific studies or the findings generated by specific studies that have changed some of these problem spaces. And three, I have no way to vet what it's telling me. Still getting broad strokes, but I can't know that what it's telling me has a scientific basis or that it's based on any sort of study because I can't see the studies. So let's try connecting this to the ScholarAI plugin and giving it access to scientific databases. We'll try the exact same query. As it's generating, we can already see a pretty significant improvement to those three issues we were talking about in the last query. One, we're not limited to a cutoff date. We can see that we're already getting studies from 2022 and onwards. Two, we're getting specific details. We're able to see the sort of information you expect from an abstract or an intro of a paper, as well as the paper titles. And we can always just get a direct link to any one of these papers. So if I want to vet what was being told to me, it'd be as simple as just clicking on a link, seeing the paper is real, maybe taking a look at some of the details being given to me, and knowing that I can trust that GPT is giving me actual referenceable information. So looks like we still need a little bit of fine tuning on the output, but we can see that we're getting a significant improvement to those three issues talked about previously. Let's ask it to go a little bit more in depth. Now, we are giving GPT access to the full text of the paper. This way, any researcher who wanted to ask more intense questions of a paper, go into the fastidious details, would really easily be able to. Um, for right now, we're getting details about the architecture of that new novel convolutional neural network design. As you can see, it gets really specific. It gets you the information that you'd see in the paper, but makes it accessible in GPT and gives you access to all of GPT's capability, like drafting or basic logic. And now that we have all this information in our context, let's try and use GPT's ability for generative text to see if it can help us maybe in the next step of what a review process or a research process might look like. As you can see, it's done a pretty good job giving us the basics, of course, of writing a research proposal for this given problem, using the vast amount of data that GPT's consumed to tell us, hey, maybe we should consider clinicians in analyzing interpretability for our architecture. But you can imagine where this could go, where, for example, we use it to help generate protocols for an unexplored nuance in another researcher's paper, or connect this data with other plugins to, for example, review the math in a researcher's paper. In the current moment, we're only connected to Springer Nature, but that has a database of 100,000 open access papers. But we hope to add PubMed, as well as connect molecular and assay databases to cover more and more scientific use cases. Um, and with that, we hope that we can make research, making review, make reading scientific literature an easier process for everyone involved. To the OpenAI people listening, thank you for your consideration. Hopefully we see this on the ChatGPT plugin marketplace soon. And for anyone else listening, thank you for stopping by.